Hello students, welcome to Lucky Gate. This is NIE LIT Technical Assistant Paper A of Computer Science and Information Technology. Here in this video, I'm going to explain the questions that have come from the subject Database Management Systems. Totally there were 11 questions in the paper A, and I'm going to explain all these 11 questions in a detailed way so that every one of you can easily understand the concept and answers for the question. Coming to question 1, when retrieving data in a particular table in PostgreSQL, there are different forms of databases. It is one of the database. We use dash statement for retrieving data from the database. Even there may be any type of database systems. We will use this a query called select from. Means if I wanted to retrieve name of the student, how do we retrieve? Select name from table student. So means to retrieve name attribute from the student table, we will be using what query? Select from query. Okay. So answer for this question is option C. And order by is for sorting the rows, and the /d/a are irrelevant to the query language. So coming to question number 2, with the following syntax. The syntax given is insert into table, column, 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 dash, dash, dash. So it is specified what values are going to be inserted for which columns. That column names are specifically mentioned. And the values of that columns are value 1, value 2, likewise. This can insert one row at a time, insert multiple rows at a time, insert one column at a time, insert multiple columns at a time. Here, try to understand. Suppose my table is a student having attributes roll number, name, and marks are the attributes. Suppose I wanted to insert only roll number comma name of the students first. Marks I wanted to update the table later. Means marks I wanted to update it later with the student records. First I wanted to know who are the students, what are their roll numbers, and what are their names. For doing this, what is required? We have to use insert into query. Insert into table means table name we have to specify. Insert into table student, and I wanted to insert only roll number and name attribute. Values 1 Ajay, close. Now by using this query, what is going to happen in the student table? In the student table, the attributes roll number comma name are inserted with the values 1 and Ajay. This is 1 and this is Ajay. What about marks? Marks is not inserted. This is just empty. This is an instance of a table. Now tell me, first option, insert one row at a time. Okay, it is inserting one row, but is it in all attributes? No, just we are holding this option. Insert multiple rows, it is absolutely wrong. With this query, we are inserting only one row at a time. Insert one column at a time, it is also absolutely wrong because we are going to insert more than one columns. Option D, insert multiple columns at a time. Yes, true. I'm inserting two columns, one at a time, but not the entire row. That's why I'm saying option A is incorrect. So answer for this question is option D. Coming to question number 3. What is mean by the following relational algebra statement? Relational algebra statement. The relational algebra statement is student cross course. This operator is called a Cartesian product or called cross product. Means it is performing a Cartesian product between student and course. Let us say student is having m rows, course is having n rows. Its Cartesian product contains m into n combinations. Now look into options. Compute natural join. Actually, natural join is a join between two tables based on the common attribute. And the natural join operator in algebra looks like this. But here it is given a Cartesian product. So option A is wrong. Compute left outer join. Left outer join symbol will be shown like this. This is join. Na? Left outer join will gives you all non-matching rows in the left side table also. Means you can see a symbol like this. So option B is wrong. Option C, compute Cartesian product. Yes, this is a Cartesian product symbol. Cross product we also call Cartesian product. Cartesian product between student and course relations. Correct. And D, compute outer join between student and course tables. Here outer join will be of three types: left, right, and full outer join. Left join will show like this, right join will show like this, and full outer join will show with a total of this. Okay, so option D is incorrect. Then option C is the correct answer for the question. Question number 4. Let R equal to A, B, C, D, E having the following functional dependencies. These are the dependencies given. Which of the following is not a candidate key? It is actually, there is a printing mistake. Which of the following is not a candidate key? When I can call an attribute set is a candidate key if it is a minimal set and its closure should contain all the attributes. Option A will check is A is a key or not by finding its closure. What is A closure? A. With A, I'm going to determine both B and C. You write it. With B, you can able to determine D. Write it. With together C and D, you can able to determine E. Write it. So means with A closure, are you getting all attributes? Yes. Then A is called candidate key. And A is one attribute. One attribute is always called minimal key. Minimal key is called candidate key. Similarly, you check for B closure. What is B closure? B, D. Is B closure containing all attributes? No, because it is not containing all attributes. B is not a key. Not a key. But question is about not a candidate key. Yes, B is not a candidate key. Answer is on option B. So option A is wrong. I will show you why C and D also wrong. What is E closure? E. Here you look. With E you will get A. With A you will get BC. With B you will get D. All attributes. So because all attributes it is a candidate key. Because question is not a candidate key, option C is incorrect. Similarly check for BC closure. BC. With B will get D. With CD will get E. With E will get A. So this is also candidate key. Because question is not candidate key, option D is incorrect. Among the four options, which is not a candidate key? Option B. So B is the answer for the question. Continue with question number 5. Domain constraints, functional dependency, and referential integrity are special forms of we call assertion. And here referential integrity is also called foreign key constraint. And based on functional dependency, we'll get primary key. And referential constraint means it is a foreign key constraint. These all are a class of assertions. Assertions are one which is going to be specified on a table. On a table, we'll specify some conditions. Those are called assertions. So answer for the question is option C. Question number 6. Less than all comparison operator means. Suppose I do have a condition x less than all of 5, 10, 15. Then what does it mean? This is same as x less than 5 means it is to be compared with all the values. X less than 10, x less than 15. So this less than condition to be compared with 5, 10, 15 and the total expression is going to return true if this condition to be satisfied for all the values. It does mean that x less than 5 and x less than 10 and x less than 15, right? It means x is to be less than with 5 and 10 and 15. It simply means that x is to be less than with 5 to be true always. Why? Because if it is 6, suppose the value of x is 6, 6 less than 5 is false, false and anything is false. So means this condition, entire condition is going to be true for only those values whose value is less than 5. What is 5? Minimum among the set. In the set 5, 10, 15 I have taken. In that 5, 10, 15, this is a minimum value. Now option A you look. More than the maximum value in the subquery. Is that less than all is comparing with more than maximum value in the subquery? Means is it x greater than 15? No. What does it mean is x is greater than 15 is going to be selected. But is it selecting x is greater than 15? No. It is going to select x less than 5. Option A is wrong. Less than the minimum value. Correct now? So it is comparing with finally less than the minimum value, then it is to be true. Then option B is the correct. Is equivalent to in. In is never be equivalent to all. In is equivalent to any. In is equivalent to any but not all. Option D, none of the above, incorrect. So answer is option B. Less than the minimum value in the subquery is the correct answer. Question number 7. A minimal super key, that is one of the super keys for which no proper subset is a super key, is called. If no proper subset is a super key, we call minimal super key. That minimal super key, we call it as a candidate key. What actually meaning is, suppose A and B attributes together is a super key. If A alone is not super key, if B alone is not super key. Why? Because what are the proper subsets of A and B? A and B. Those are the proper subsets. It does mean that A alone should not be proper. A alone should not be key. B alone should not be key. Then we can call AB is called minimal key. The minimal key is called candidate key. There is an option A. And one of the candidate key is called primary key. So C is also correct. What I can say, both the candidate key and primary key is the most appropriate answer for the question. So directly minimal super key is called candidate key. One of the candidate key we can take as primary key. So that what I can call that minimal super key can be both candidate and primary key. So answer for this question is option D. D is the most appropriate answer for the question. Question number 8. Let R and S be two relations with the following schemas. R is PQ R1 R2 R3. S is PQ S1 S2. Where PQ is the key for both schemas. PQ is the key for both the schemas. Means for this PQ is a key. In S also PQ is a key. Which of the following queries are equivalent? First one given, R join S. This is called a natural join. Now it is performing a natural join between R and S and projecting only P. And here both R and S are joined with respect to only P column. See, if it is joined with P column, then 2 definitely be not equivalent with 1. And 3, it is performing an intersection between R and S and projecting P. And 4, this is somewhat different. It is just like R minus of R minus S. R minus of R minus S is same as R intersection S. Same as R intersection S. So because it is same as R intersection S, now third query is also similar to this, R intersection S. In the fourth query and third query, what you observe, R intersection S is performing. Finally, it is projecting P. Done. And in the first query, join will give you the result that are matching with both the tables. Both the tables means the condition to be satisfied in both of them. And then finally projecting P. So that even 1 is also giving the correct output, but not 2. So means which queries are giving the correct output are same output, statement 1, 3 and 4. That is an option D. Here I will show you with a small example. Let us say R with P and Q attributes, and there may be some other attributes, but here the complete queries are based on P and Q attributes. That's why I'm showing you only with P and Q. And S with two attributes P and Q. Let us say 1, 3, 2, 4. This is also 1, 3 and 2, 3. When you perform a natural join, first query 1. When you perform a natural join between these two tables, natural join will be equal condition between common attributes, means P equal to P, Q equal to Q conditions. 1 equal to 1 true, 3 equal to 3 true. This is matching tuple. And the remaining tuples 2 equal to 2, 4 equal to 3 non-matching. This is only the matching tuple. In that matching tuples, what it is projecting only P. That P is 1 now, right? In the first query. Second query. The second query is performing join between R and S with respect to P column. Only P column now. First is projecting P column of S, projecting P column of R, then performing a join between P column. Now, if join is between only P column, then you can see 1 equal to 1 matches, right? This 1 equal to 1 matches, 2 equal to matches. So what value of P is going to be in the output? It is going to return both 1, 2. So definitely it is giving the different output than 1. So 2 is not equivalent to 1. Now, third one you look at. PQ of R intersection PQ of S. That intersection giving you the common tuples. 1, 3, 1, 3 is a common, na? 1, 3 is a common. In both of them, 1, 3 is a common. Intersection gives you common tuples. From the common tuples, what it is projecting only P. That P is 1. So means 3 is giving the same output as 1 but not 2. Finally, query 4. Here first you check this inner query. Pi PQ of R minus PQ of S. What is minus operator says should be there in the first but not in the second. See here 2, 4 is there in the R but not S. So this query is going to return the PQ values that are 2, 4, right? Next, pi PQ of R, again the same table, minus 2, 4. What minus is should be there in the first instance but not in the second instance. 1, 3 is there in the first instance but not in the second instance. But 2, 4 is there in both the instances. So what it is going to be selected? 1, 3 is going to be selected. From them, it is projecting pi. P. What is a P? It is for the selected tuple 1. Observe friends, here in all 1, 3, 4, it is giving the same output but not 2. So answer for the question is option D. I hope you can easily understood these answers. Look at question number 9. Anomalies. Anomaly means problems are provided by splitting the offending relation into multiple relations. Splitting the offending relation into multiple relation is called decomposition. So means redundancy problems are avoided by using decomposition is called. So here directly the answer is decomposition. Splitting a relation which having a problem into multiple tables, this process is called a decomposition. That's why option B is correct. Remaining options are incorrect. Look at question number 10. Which of the following scenarios may lead to irrecoverable error? Irrecoverable means non-recoverable errors in a database system. When you can expect a non-recoverability case? Just have a small example. T1, T2. There are two transactions. Let us say transaction 1 performed a read and write operation on some data item. And whatever the data item updated by some transaction T1, it is read by other transactions. Before that update becomes commit. Before the update becomes commit, it is reading a data item that was previously written by some transaction T1. That read is called a dirty read. That read is called dirty read. And the transaction 1 which has performed a dirty read is committed before a transaction T1. Then what problem is possible? Suppose if transaction 1 failed at this point, then it requires rollback T1 because the transaction T2 is depending on the value updated by T1. Because 2 is depending on the value updated by T1, because of rollback of T1, it requires to perform rollback of T2. But rollback of T2 possible? No, it cannot be rolled back. Why? Because it is already committed. Such schedule is called irrecoverable schedule, also called non-recoverable schedule. This is a case for non-recoverability. Then check which options are correctly matching. A transaction writes a data item after it is writes a data item, correct, after it is read by uncommitted transaction. Now when the transaction is writing after it is reading, means first read is performed then write is performed, so it is not the correct option. So when it is possible, first it should write, then it should be read. So option B, look, a transaction reads a data item, correct, reading a data item after it is read by uncommitted transaction, after it is read by uncommitted transaction. So read is not a conflict, so option B is also incorrect. Option C, a transaction reads a data item after it is written by a committed transaction. If it is reads a data item from the committed transaction, it will not be considered as a dirty read. But here in this case, dirty read is creating the problem. So option C is incorrect. What is left? Option D is the correct answer. Why? A transaction reads a data item. This is reading. After it is written by uncommitted transaction. When it is reading, after some transaction is performing a write operation. When it is reading, after it is written by uncommitted transaction, means before this write commits, it is reading, causing a possibility of irrecoverable error, or we call non-recoverable schedules. So answer for this question is option D. Question number 11. An expression in the domain relational calculus, we call DRC, is of the form. The form of domain relational calculus should be the attribute 1, attribute 2, dash dash dash, attribute n. It means whatever the attributes that you need that required to be selected, such that these attributes, whatever I'm selecting, are selected based on what conditions that you have to write using a formula p of x1 x2 dash dash xn. This p of x1 x2 dash dash xn is called a formula which is describing the domain variables x1 to xn. This x1 to xn are called domain variables. This is a general form of a DRC query. Now look for option A. First formula given, incorrect. Option B, in both sides it is given variables only, it is also incorrect. And third one also incorrect. And fourth one is the correct representation, because the first part representing the domain variables and second part representing the formula that is describing the domain variables. So answer for this question is option D. These are the 11 questions asked in NIELIT exam scientist A paper. Hope you understood all the questions very clearly, and thanks for watching. Please do subscribe, like and share with your friends, and don't forget to click the bell icon so that immediately you will get a notification as soon as I upload a video. Thank you.